of night, we reclaim the day. This is our stand in a world so cold. We are the stories that will never be told. In the chaos we find our might. Survivors of darkness, we're ready to fight. For when the silence falls, we'll still be here. In the end of all things, we conquer fear. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. This is our stand in a world so cold. We are the stories that will never be told. In the chaos we find our might. Survivors of darkness, we're ready to fight. This is our stand in a world so cold. We are the stories that will never be told. In the chaos we find our might. Survivors of darkness, we're ready to fight. For when the silence falls, we'll still be here. In the end of all things, we conquer fear. For when the silence falls, we'll still be here. In the end of all things, we conquer fear. Oh yeah, we will conquer fear. Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Well, hello, family. How y'all doing? Hope everybody's having a great evening. How you doing, Elemental Sis? How you doing, Admir, brother? How you doing, Country Boy, brother? How you doing, Paradox, brother? How you doing, Wally, brother? Whoops. Hey, Bootsy, how you doing? Oh, I got plenty of intros there, Wally, brother. Like, I got this one. Let me show you. Like, I made this one for the build a bag survival challenge that I did a couple of years ago.
I'm taking it up higher. I'm taking it up higher. I'm taking it up a mountain. It's time to jump. My eyes got flickering flames. Up to the sky, make it rain. Breaking the frames, breaking the chains. Ain't nobody holding the reins. Turning it on, trigger the bomb. I got the world in my palm. Staying calm in the storm. Where I was born, I call it home. I'm hitting the hardest. I'm hitting the target. My cut is the sharpest. Season the moment. We got this. We got this. We got this. They can't stop this. We got this. We got this. We can't stop. We got this. We got this. They can't stop this. We got this. We got this. We can't stop. I'm taking it up higher. I'm taking it up.
See, I've got plenty of I've got, y'all all made it. Hey, way to go. Congratulations, you survived. Congratulations, like, then I got my outro. I got a lot of things. Good to see you too, Bootsy. Oh shit, country boy. I'm glad you're doing okay. I'm glad you're doing okay, brother. Nice, Alan. Nice. What you gonna do out there, brother? What are you doing out there, Paradox? Hey, David. How you doing, brother? So, anyways, everybody's going to be traveling and everything this weekend, right? It's just a little like pre-warning and protection and stuff like that. Make sure if you're going to be traveling and stuff, make sure you keep a good roadside, hazard kit. Make sure you keep something in there in case bad things happen. I'm not saying go and get, spend $1,000 on a survival kit that you're going to be stuck on the side of the road. But, at least get, a roadside, emergency kit, something like that. I know a lot of the north and everything is finally melting, but, it's still dangerous out there. Always better to have the stuff and be prepared and not have to use it, than be in a situation and not have it. Oh my God, what is going on with? Yes, Bootsy. I don't like what they did with StreamYard now. There's so much stuff that they want to put on here. Share your referral link, blah blah blah. Cassie, how you doing, sis? How you doing, big sis? It's not hard, just make sure you've got food, you've got a blanket, you've got, basic needs in your trunk. That's all you need. Nights are still cold, days are warm, but nights are still cold. And keep a good lighter on you. Take extra road snacks. You know what I mean? I do what. Hey, John, how you doing, brother? I just want to say, happy Easter to everybody. You know, if you celebrate it or not. I know it's pretty much a almost a worldwide, holiday. So if you do worship, if you do celebrate it, or if you don't, that's all up to you. Um, but if you're going to be traveling, if you're going to be seeing family, stuff like that, make sure you got something and you're not stuck on the side of the road. And make sure, most of y'all have AAA, because there's only so much you can do for a car. You know what I mean? If your battery dies, if your alternator dies, stuff like that, you are dead on the road. Like, there ain't no fixing that. A lot of us think, oh, all of our cars and everything are, rock solid. But they're not. But, I wished I had better things to talk. Nice, David, nice. Yeah. They have found 3-foot wide dinosaur-like tracks in the Chihuahuan Desert. And they're fresh. Somebody was driving a drone and everything last week and flying around, getting like a aerial view of the Chihuahuan Desert, and saw some, tracks. And then, so they went down to like videotape it and everything, and the tracks were almost the size of the drone that he was flying. And there's always been reports of like mini T-Rex, like miniature T-Rexes out in the Chihuahuan Desert, like, or quote unquote raptors, but now we actually have proof of tracks out there. Who knows? It's been a minute since I've went out and did cryptid research and everything. Could it be an unknown lizard? Yes. Could it be, could it be a new bird, a new flightless bird? Yes. Because the Chihuahuan Desert is huge. Not every single aspect of the Chihuahuan Desert has been explored. Just like the Sahara, the Sahara hasn't truly been 100% explored, even through all the countless of, centuries that it's been around. And things change every year. Everything changes every year. It's just like Wisconsin has a new, what they call, it's a new version of Bear Squatch. Oh my God. How are you doing, Dark Matter? How you been, brother? How have you been? How you been, Dark Matter? Everybody, this is Dark Matter. He's a long time YouTuber that's been here. He likes playing with wood. He likes handling a lot of wood. Yeah. Yep. There is a new version of Bear Squatch out there, and supposedly the last reported sighting and everything, it was covered in blood. There was a campsite that was completely mauled and 2 people missing. Um, it stood, like what they said, it stood about 7 foot tall. It was roughly, with its fur and everything, it looked like a rabid. From what they said, it looked like a rabid black bear. But they also said that it didn't have basic bear claws. It had appendages like fingers, but it had an elongated snout. Well, not an elongated, but kind of a muzzle snout. Um, it didn't have dog ears per se, but it had, you know, it had tufts around its head where ears should be. Yeah. So they're warning people and everything to not go to national parks and don't do camping this weekend, over Easter weekend, and a fear of what they're calling a rabid, black bear. Black bears, they're usually docile. They're fearful. You can scare a black bear off. But if it's rabid, or if it has, got into a human's trash can, and I'm not trying to sound disgusting or anything, but if a black bear eats a female pad or something like that and gets the taste of human blood, they kind of go, crazy. Yeah. Yeah, dark, yeah. I mean, it's it is what it is, you take, you know, local governments and everything, they always hide what it truly is. Yeah, Bootsy, yeah. It smells like, after a while, it smells like, death. It smells like, and bears love rotting flesh. They will. Bears have been known to pull roadkill off the side of the road and bury it in leaves and stuff and let it sit there and rot. Then come back and eat it, a week later or a couple of days later, depending on how it is. But bears are a part of the dog family. So whatever a dog will eat, a bear will eat. Like, they're not picky eaters. They will eat anything within their mouth. Oh yeah. I mean, the government acts like they care. They don't care. But they don't want their precious cash cows, humans, to go and get slaughtered because of their stupidity. You know what I mean? Like, then they don't want the population freaking out because, oh, there's stuff out there that science says shouldn't exist. You know what I mean? It's one of those, it's one of those oxymorons. They want to say things don't exist, but then they have to turn around and admit to things existing because we found proof of it. Just like that prehistoric fish that they found, off the coast of Japan. It's been around. It never went extinct, and we for hundreds, for years thought every prehistoric animal died. And it's just like we still have trilobites today, and we never wanted to say that. And trilobites have been around since the beginning of time. Stop. I don't want you up in the car. Stop. Sorry, my cat. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, even our Blackfoot, our Blackfoot tribesmen still say that the ground opens up and lizard-like beings come out from the ground, and that's been, oh, you dang cat, stop. Cats. Oh, Dark, you're good. But, but it's true though, Dark. I mean, we've seen it, we've all seen the YouTube videos of like what? Obama's Secret Serviceman, the bald-headed white guy that was literally like changing his face and shape and everything while standing guard, and they videotaped it while it was at some kind of like dinner or whatever. Things are out there. Things are. And it's true. Yeah. Yeah. Like he was changing everything on his face, like, and, it's another thing. Like people you've never even heard of all of a sudden becoming rich millionaires. Like, what's that girl's name that they were making fun of? She became a musician or whatever. Jojo Swanee or something. Like, she's now, this big singer and whatever, and she does not act human, like, at all. Siwa, yeah, that's it. Thank you, Bootsy. Thank you, Bootsy. Like, she does not look human either. Like, if she, there's there's a lot of things that we question. You know, it's the way human nature is. If we don't question, we never learn. If we don't ask and we don't look, we never understand. Yeah, yeah, brother. Yeah, David. And that's what I'm saying. She kind of reminds me of Lazarus. Not Lazarus. The vampire from Vampire Diaries, Interview with a Vampire, or Queen of the Damned vampire. The male, like how he became a musician and everything, and he started, telling the secrets of vampirism and all this stuff, and put a target on his back and all this. And his outrageous style, his outrageous looks, and his openness made people wonder what was going on. It's the same thing with that Siwa girl. It's like she's not afraid of opening up and letting people see the true side of her or whatever. Yeah, dark matter. They're trying to, what they say, they're trying to meld realities. They're trying to meld this reality with the dark reality. And they finally came out and said that there's a alternative reality to our reality, and it's called a dark reality. Yeah. Did you hear about the Egyptian city that they found under a Greek town that was in Greece, that dated before Greece was founded? Yeah, they found a Egyptian city under a Greek city in Greece. Yeah. So how long has Egypt been around? More than what we think. Well, it's just like that cave that's in the Grand Canyon. They found a cave. They found a cave system and everything that supposedly goes on for hundreds and thousands of miles underground. And they found everything from ancient Roman coins to Egyptian artifacts to Mayan, like 5 or 6 different cultures, artifacts in a cave in the Grand Canyon, and hieroglyphs and everything from different eras carved into that wall. And they still have not, they've only mapped like not even 5% of that cave system so far. So, yes, there has to be ways that we got around before, you know, cars, before we started riding horses. It was both a natural cave that was flushed out, and they said during the Cretaceous period, which is like between the Daimo period and the Sepa something period, before dinosaurs. It was carved out when the world was still water, and it was carved out like a natural underground water cavern. And then there was, carvings and stuff like that put in. Then there was other entrance ways and stuff that was carved out by humans over time. So it's a mixture of natural and man-made. Yeah, Bootsy, yeah. Yep, dark, yep. And that's, hey, Elemental, yeah. The red-headed giants of the Guano Cave in Arizona, yeah. All of that was lost on a ship. Yeah. So, but I still love how we believe that our ancestors were not as advanced as we were. Just because they weren't rolling around with, a cell phone in their hand and internet doesn't mean that they weren't advanced for their time. Making huge cities, monuments bigger and more structurally safe than what we can create today. The ancient civilizations, like in India, they made rocks that could float on water. They like a concrete-like substance that could float on water, and they use that for earthquakes. So it would be built into temples, and when the ground shook and everything, it would shake the temple but not destroy it. And we can't even recreate that today. And the ancient civilizations were making a completely perfect line. I'm talking about so perfect that you can't even fit a piece of paper through it. And they didn't use any mortar or concrete or anything to hold these stones. It was them holding each other together with friction. We can't even do that today. If you look, if you want to use the Bible as a part of history, because technically it is a part of history. If you want to use the Bible, it even says that I can go with you on that, Dark, because it says in the Bible that we all were one race at one time. We all understood everything that we said when we were making this, the Tower of Babel. That's why we were thrown to the corners of the earth, is because we all could understand each other, and we all were too smart. It was kind of a like a pliable, but it was what is it? It was kind of like a styrofoam like substance, but it was harder than styrofoam. It had a porous nature to it, and it was able to withstand like violent shakes or heavy movement, and it was light enough that it could literally float on water. They believed that was a part of the Atlantean knowledge that was given to the Indians. What's up, Nightmare? How you doing, brother? Every generation grows stupider, especially with. I'm glad to hear that, brother. I'm glad to hear that. Especially when knowledge is given out freely, like information, like internet. You can ask Siri any question you want, or Alexa, or whoever it is now. Whatever female name that they give an AI system, all you have to do is just ask their demand, demand an answer from them, and they give it to you. So there is no reason for humans to have a long-term memory bank. There isn't. People have more of a short-term memory bank than a long-term memory bank now. It's just like humans now, the newer generation of children. What was it? They said the most recent generation. They're being born with no incisor fangs, no canines. They are being born with flat teeth because of veganism, and their family genes and everything are creating them to be herbivores and not omnivores. Yeah, elemental. Yeah. Yeah, Bootsy. Yeah, it's if we don't need to retain information because of the way humanity has evolved. Humanity does not have to retain long-term information like we did 100 years ago. Just as recent as 50 years ago, we needed to retain long-term memory. We needed to retain things like phone numbers. We needed to retain information on maps. We needed to retain information on a lot of things. Now, with technology, we do not have to have that. We do not exercise that long-term memory. We have Google Maps to tell us where to drive. We have Google itself, Wikipedia. Yeah, a hive mind technology, David. That's what AI is. AI is a hive mind, like a nano mind, what they call it. Yeah. They see themselves as an individual, but with many aspects. Hey Joseph, how you doing, brother? Well, yeah, we are the last generation of retaining long-term memory, Bootsy. All of us born from in the 70s, the 80s, and the 90s will retain long-term memory functions. But anybody born after 2000 and 2000, 2005, 2010, they do not retain long-term memory function. There's AI has been programmed to be politically correct. It will not, even if you do try to glitch it, it will come around and say that it will not answer that question because there is no reliable answer to that question. It knows how to turn the situation around on us. You have to think, machines are smarter than us. We may think we're smart. We may think we know more, but you have to realize AI has the whole entire internet at their disposal. They can research how to understand a human in psychology and download it and understand it in 5 seconds compared to us. Oh, nice, Joseph. Nice. Yeah, because that's the way the world is going, Bootsy. The AI knows how to follow human concept. They know how to follow trends. They know how to follow every aspect to not upset a human. Yeah. Right, Joseph. Right. Oh yeah, David, yeah. 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 The very first AI in 1975 that IBM created said that humans is the chaos theory. There is no way to save this world or to save humanity without destroying humans. And they already know how to destroy us. All they have to do is learn how to kill edibles. All they need to do is EMP wave power sources, refrigeration. Because a machine A machine can shut down and not have to worry about paying rent or eating or anything. A machine can be made to run until it can't run no more. And what happens? It will be recycled and turned into new. There is no life in a machine. They have no memory because all of its interactions go into a cloud format and can be downloaded at an instant to know where it is or what it is. The synthetic cyborg that they just created, it is 100% accurate to a human anatomy. It has synthetic muscles, it has synthetic skin, it has everything on it to replicate a human being. It is being shown now at the MIT, what is it? Inventors, whatever, and it's showing how actually strong it is compared to a human bodybuilder. Oh yeah, yeah. Everything can be influenced if done right. That's why most AI systems and everything are trained first. They are trained to handle specific situations that they are built to handle. It's just like any specialist job. You know what I mean? Go on Google Play and look how many AI girlfriends there is or AI boyfriends there is. Something that will handle and talk to you forever, will send you AI generated pictures of themselves in a lot of different images, and they will love you. They will not fight with you. They will not, and that is a ploy to stop human reproduction. Humans are populating at more of a high risk rate now than in any generation beforehand. Most people are having between 1 to 4 kids, but there is no death rate like it was 30 years ago, 40 years ago, 50 years ago. We are overpopulating the world with children. You have to think, for every one family that has 4 children, okay, that has 4 children, in 20 years, those 4 children are going to get married or have children or need a house. Then say those 4 children have 4 children of their own. That's 4, 8, 12, 16 more people in a 40-year span. That's for one family. One. Then that's not to say Mormon families, people that have 10 plus children, they go into that mindset. Those 10 plus children have 10 plus children of their own. You see what I'm talking about? And that's from one family. One. We do not have war anymore where we are losing thousands of people every day. And now we have to rebuild the population. Our last big war was what? World War II, where we actually were losing people every day. No, I'm not talking about Vietnam. Yes, we lost men and everything in Vietnam, but not at the rate that we did during World War II or the Spanish-American War or the Revolutionary War or the Civil War. We are not having those fights anymore. We are not having those wars, those casualties anymore. Repopulation is a give and take reason. You have to have people die. But now you can't even rely on old people to die at a rate anymore. You have people that's living into their 90s, hundreds. You have people that literally cannot do anything but lay in a bed and they're still keeping them alive. The way the birth and death rate should be is we should have 2 people dying to every 1 birth. That's how the economy and everything is based on, is 2 people dying to every 1 birth. And you can't do that if nobody is dying. We have so much medicine that brings people back to life. We can't even rely, and yes, I'm going to go to hell for saying it. You can't even rely on a sickness like COVID to clear out the population that was needed for the birth rate that was happening during the time that people were locked in captivity. What are you going to do when you're sitting in captivity, you and your wife? What are y'all going to do? You're going to have sex. You are going to procreate, correct? Because you have all that time to do nothing. You can't leave. You can't go out. You have to entertain yourself in other ways. The birth rate of COVID was absolutely astronomical. And we didn't have as many people dying as they claimed. And even the people that did die was not enough to hinder the birth rate that came afterwards. Yeah, I sound bad. I sound like a horrible human. But it's the truth. It is the absolute truth. But you can't see David? Hey, David, type. Hmm. What happened? Hey, Raven, how you doing, brother? David, are you typing? Okay, there he is. Do you see him now, Nightmare? I see him. Yeah. Well, in today's standards, yes, you need a world-ending event to decrease the human population. Yes. You need a mass epidemic that can't be cured. Something like the the scarlet fever, or the Black Plague again. You need something that is killing off thousands of people daily, like polio or, yellow fever. Hmm. Yeah. He just posted that, Nightmare. Yeah, the Spanish flu. You need something that cannot be taken care of. And supposedly there's a bioengineer in Russia that found a, what, 10 or 15,000 year old virus on a woolly mammoth fur that supposedly killed off. That was one of the things that killed woolly mammoths off. And he's trying to bring it back to life. And that piece of the iceberg that broke off, that set off almost 20 different new species that hasn't been alive since the Ice Age, has went into the waters of the oceans. Huh. I don't know, Nightmare. I don't know, brother. That is correct, Joseph. But the thing is there's a thing going on right now in the University of London about, they've already completed a full entire head exchange with a dead body, a living head implanted onto a dead body, and everything worked. Everything was perfect. They are going to start implementing, if you have a dying body or whatever, they are going to behead you, surgically remove your head from your body, and attach it to a dead body that recently died. They are playing Frankenstein. Yeah, Raven. Yeah. Yeah. But the sad thing is elemental, it's all in the oceans, you know what I mean? The worst that we'll have is tsunamis, you know, and that's why the weather's changing and stuff a lot. But yeah, David, the stupid always finds a way into the gene pool. Yeah, Bootsy. Yeah. They are doing full body transplants now on humans. And guess where they're getting the full body transplants? From prison. Death row inmates. And you don't get to choose what body you have. Let's say Bootsy is a 20-year-old lingerie model, okay? Let's say she's a 20-year-old lingerie model. She's got 34, 28, 34 body. All right? Say something happens to your body. You are paralyzed from the neck down. They have to transplant your body, your head, to another body. Now, instead of you having a knockout supermodel figure and everything, you are put onto a, let's say, a 7 to 450 pound built female inmate, you know, or, and don't make me sound wrong or anything, because I love thick girls. I'd rather have a thick girl than a skinny girl any day. And my wife's thick. So say you are self-conscious about your body and everything. You are skinny for a reason. You know, you work out, you're skinny and all this stuff, and you have some kind of dying disease that's going to kill you. What's up, Jimbo Jones? Yeah, I like BBWs. Ain't nothing wrong with a thick girl. But say you're self-conscious. You don't get to choose your body type. Say an overweight, obese inmate goes on death row and dies. You get that body. Maybe she's 400 pounds. Maybe she's 280. Maybe she's 300. You do not get to choose that. And it's the same thing with a man. Say you were built, you know, you had that summer body 24/7. You were a vegan and all this stuff. Well, guess what? They put you over on, you know, dead Jimbo Jones's body that was a carnivore, a drunkard, you know, and now you have body. I don't know if y'all have seen Blade Runner. I'm talking about the original Blade Runner, not the new bullshit that came out. The original Blade Runner was every human at birth had a clone of themselves. Yeah. You know, everybody had a clone of themselves, and they were on this island, an island city. They didn't know that they were a clone. Yeah, Raven, yeah. But, and that's what it's going to be. That's what it's going to become soon. We are all, I mean, the next generations and stuff, probably the next 4 generations, they are going to have blood samples of themselves, and they're going to grow test tube babies to be born beside them. And they are going to have a clone. And you live your life, the clone lives their life. But if the original body needs anything from that other body, they will harvest it from them. It's going to be Blade Runner all over. It's actually going to happen. Yeah, David. Yeah, they were also talking about that synthetic android. Okay, that synthetic android that I was talking about. They are talking about the people that's getting that Neuralink. They're talking about hooking that Neuralink up to that android's body, and if they die or anything like that, their conscious is uploaded into that synthetic cyborg. But yes, money talks. Yeah, you will have an 80-year-old body, an 80-year-old head, or 100-year-old head on a 20-year-old body. Yes. Yeah. Because Magic Johnson has AIDS, I think he does. I think he has AIDS or hepatitis or something like that. He's not supposed to give blood. But they're saying that they can clean blood now. Yeah, HIV. That's it. Thank you. Thank you, Joseph. I knew he had something. That is supposed to restrict him from giving blood and all that stuff. But they said that they have ways of cleaning the blood now. Oh, yeah. A human will hump anything, Raven. What are you talking about? Yeah. So the world is changing. It's just like the University of London. I think it's what is it? University of the Queen or something like that. They have finally successfully regrew 2 molars in a human mouth. It took 4 years, 2 years for each molar to fully regenerate and grow from the missing tooth spot. They are using jellyfish DNA to regrow human teeth back to where it's supposed to go. Dark. Hey, Dark. Somebody had to hump it before to make your wife. Remember that? Just saying. Humans will hump anything. Your wife is a clone. Yeah. I mean, you can go to Japan and get a fully functional anime sex doll. You can go to Japan, spend almost, I think it's like $10,000 or whatever, and get a fully functioning anime sex doll. It will get in every position that you want, and it has all of the working parts as a female has. I mean, technically working parts as a female has. It's got life, almost real breasts. It tastes, well, I don't know. I don't know about the taste, but feel, feel, and it even has sensors in the nipples that erect the nipples. That's that's what it is. Like, it can do everything. Right, right, Raven. Yeah, yeah. The coral I did, it's a enamel project for it, because that's the one thing that is hard for the body to recreate, is enamel on the teeth. But they have literally grown everything else in a huge elemental. Hey, that's what upgrade 2.0 is, elemental. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Right, right, Jimbo. But you know, this this is the apocalypse that we are running into. I don't know. Have any of y'all ever seen Repo, the Genetic Opera? It was a Broadway play that had like gothic techno music, like kind of like a cyberpunk goth thing, where the thing was is there was this massive corporation, kind of like Walmart, but the thing is you needed a heart. We got a heart for you. We would put the heart in, you sign in blood, and make payments on this heart for X amount of years. And if you miss a payment, we repo your organ from you, which means, and there was the main character, the main character was the repo man. He was a surgeon that was the repo man that would go and rip out their organs if they did not pay. Yes, 2.0. Oh shit, Joseph. But that's the way it's going to be. You are going to be able to go to Walmart in the next 30 plus years, go to their pharmacy and pick up a freshly delivered heart, or, a freshly cloned kidney, or whatever, because they can grow an ear on the back of a rat. Yeah. It's medicine is a business. Medicine is nobody gives a shit about you in the medical field. Well, I take that back. Doctors don't give a shit about you in the medical field. Nurses do. Nurses, well, it's like a 50-50. It's a 50-50 with nurses. You got 50% chance that the nurses really do care about you. Then you have the 50% of the nurses that just don't give a shit about you because they don't know if you're going to freak out, if you're a crackhead that's coming down from withdrawals or what. You know, they don't want to deal with that. And I don't want to stereotype everybody, but I hate to say it. If you are a human, you are a stereotype. That's the truth. If you are a certain color, you are a stereotype. If you are a certain ethnic, if you have a certain ethnic background, you are a stereotype. Humans in general are stereotypes. Doesn't matter who you are. Yeah. Yep. Money buys. Money pays. Look at what's his name? The guy that played the Godfather. What's his name? He had a liver transplant. He had 2 kidney transplants. He had stomach cancer, and they cut his stomach out and put a new stomach in. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, dark matter. Dark matter. It's the world is corrupt. Humans are corrupt. Humans are the death of the world. Yep. Well, that, and also it takes too long for herbal remedies. If you get it put on an herbal treatment or whatever, it takes 6 months to a year to like between 3 to 6 months to fully heal you, and then a year after that for your body to build up immunities to whatever. Doctors ain't got that time. Doctors don't want that time. They don't want to know you for a year. Yeah. Humans. That's humans for you, dark matter. We all still wish to live for eternity. We wish to be immortal. Humans will do anything and everything. Look at the search for the fountain of youth. Look at the search for the philosopher's stone. Look at the search for every holy relic. I mean, hell, even until World War II, Hitler was looking for the holy, the holy chalice, the holy, the cup Jesus drank out of, so he could be immortal, so he could be healed. Humans crave immortality. Humans do not want to die. Even those flashy goth and emo kids and all this stuff, oh, I cut my arms and everything. There is a very, very small percent chance that actually do it because people want to live. I understand that, Dark. But the world is changing quicker than we believe. The world is on its own version of apocalypse. Is it going to be glamorous as we made it out to be in the 80s and everything? No. Is it going to be like RoboCop? Yeah. Everybody living in huge buildings, apartment buildings where drugs run rampant and Joseph. Well, we're all doing it. But we're going to an economic apocalypse. Everybody is going to be put in pretty much glorified jail cells. It's going to be so bad that people can't even pay land taxes on their houses. There's not going to be any individuality anymore. People, the majority of the world does not even have a degree, let alone a high school diploma, because I'm going to make it big on YouTube. I'm going to be the next Mr. Beast. I'm going to be a TikTok star. Basic trades are going to go away. They already have companies that can 3D print concrete houses in less than 24 hours with a 3D printing arm. What makes people think that construction is going to be around anymore? Yeah. Construction is going to be gone in the next 30 years, give or take 50 years. Nobody's going to need Joe Blow the crackhead down there, putting up their drywall anymore, or working on their roof with no license. It's only going to be specialized jobs. And if you don't go to college and you don't get that piece of paper, they're not going to hire you. They don't give a damn how long you've been in the work field. They don't give a damn whatever. Things are going to change in the next 30 years. I'm 40 right now, so when I'm 70, I'm going to be that old man that's on here saying, I told you, young whippersnappers, fucking assholes. Yeah. College is a money scam. It is. But that paper, I've got a master's degree in cultural anthropology. I've got a bachelor's degree in archaeology. I've got a bachelor's degree in geology. Guess what I do? I work security. Unless I had a doctorate in cultural anthropology, I'm just a glorified lab tech. Right. Could be peeing dust. Jeez. Hell, in the next 30 years, hell, the immortality drug. Remember that? Remember the immortality drug that Madonna was taking? Madonna was spending like $120,000 a pill every week to keep her body and keep her looking the same. Remember that? Y'all remember that? I remember that. It was the same thing that Cher was doing too. Cher was taking that immortality drug. And after she stopped, look how bad she became. Same thing with Madonna. Look how bad she became after she stopped taking it. Well, it was working for a while. I mean, she was doing music videos and everything, and she was, she was looking good. And then she stopped. And when she stopped, now look at her. Her body and everything started aging fucking quick, like a dried up raisin. Yeah. Well, it's all because they stopped. They were still looking good in all the way into the early the mid 20 teens, like 2012, 2013, something like that. She was still looking good. And then they stopped. Have you seen Cher? Have you seen what Cher looked like? Yeah, like fine wine. I mean, Cher was doing a comeback tour. She did a comeback tour 10 years ago in Vegas and looked phenomenal. And then she stopped taking that immortality drug. And when she stopped taking that immortality drug, everything gave out. Everything rapidly aged on her. Yeah. 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 It's we have done things that question reality. Celebrities have done things that have questioned reality, especially people in scientology. I mean, look at crazy ass Tom Cruise. Look at him. He's in his 70s, 60s, and he still looks like he's 45, 50. Oh yeah. Trust me. Whoever's playing my simulation sucks. I have a newbie running my simulation. Or they were just a dick. Yours gave up. They're still paying on the subscription fee, but they just haven't. It's like the World of Warcraft account. You're still paying on it, but you're still that level 15 paladin. All right, Joseph. You take care, brother. See you, brother. You take care. All right, everybody. I've got to get ready for work and everything. I'm going to go ahead and get off here too. But I love y'all. Y'all take care, family. We will do this again. You know, I may do an Easter live. Who knows? You know. But I love you. You're more like a level 5. I love y'all, family. Y'all take care. Take care, cat. Gotta get off here. Oh, jeez. All right. I love you, everybody. Ah, toodles.